Hi everyone, my name is Rivka Rosenzberg. People call me Rivki. Today I will teach you a very special lesson about libraries around the world, and the vocabulary is from Band 2. Can you read, understand, and use Band 2 vocabulary words and expressions? Can you engage in creative assignments that include Band 2 vocabulary words and expressions? You will be able to do so by the end of this lesson. The stages to learning new vocabulary. First, exposure. So I will read you a short story with the vocabulary words and with pictures. Then we will practice by activities. By doing activities, we will write a few assignments, and at the end, a short review. Do you go to the library? How often do you go to the library? I love libraries. What books do you like to read? Have you read the Harry Potter books? Harry Potter is probably my favorite book. I love libraries, and I go once a week to the library near my house. The new words of today. And try, when you look at these words and you learn them with me, try to think what the text will be about. Take out books. When you go to the library, you take out books. You go to the librarian, first of all, you choose a book, you go to the librarian, you give her your card, and you borrow the book for a week or two. Sorry, library. This is a very important word for today because we're talking about libraries. In libraries, there are books and articles and magazines and newspapers. So far is like up until now. Silent. A library is very, very silent. It's a silent place to study, to read. Collection. Many libraries have very interesting collections of rare books, books that you cannot find. Huge collections. Information. Whatever information you need, you can always find at the library. Stayed. When my aunt comes to visit me, she stays in my house, and she stays for several days. Instead of being on the computer all the time, you can go to the library and learn a lot from the books there are at the library. Definitely. There is definitely no place like the libraries. I love libraries. It's a very calm place. You can read silently and calm, and everybody is very, very quiet in the library. Would rather or would prefer. Either rather or prefer. It's the same. I would rather go to the library than to play a video game, for example. Would rather is prefer. I prefer going to the library. This is Diana, and she loves to read. She goes to the library once a week to take out books. She also loves libraries. She loves libraries, and wherever she goes to the library. Whenever she travels, she likes to go see a library in that country. So far, up until now, she has seen about 50 libraries around the world. Can you imagine? 50 libraries. For example, when she went to Rome, she saw this library. It's absolutely magnificent. It's in Rome, in Italy. The library is a very silent place. It's quiet. And Diana loves getting lost in books. She loves imagining what happens in the books she reads. Getting lost in books means getting so into the book that you are lost, you lose track of time, and you are very engaged in your book. She loves looking at the collections of books and finding information on different topics. When Diana visited Ireland, for example, that's another country, she visited this library. Look at this beautiful library. She visited this library in England. She also visited the library in the United States. This is another library in the United States, in the US. When Diana was in France, she visited this library. She stayed there all day. Can you imagine? She stayed there all day. She read all day long different books in the library in France. She loved the library in Austria the most. This is her favorite one, is the library in Austria. That's another country. Not Australia, Austria. Instead of beach holidays, Diana would rather go on book holidays. She is definitely a bookworm. A bookworm is someone who reads all the time, does not stop reading. Do you want to see what happened to Diana several times? Are you curious to see what happened to her? I'm very curious to see. Watch this. This is Diana. So you have to be careful. Don't read and walk at the same time. This is Diana. She almost fell into the water while reading. So Diana is a funny girl. Let's try to match the words to their synonyms. The words are collection, silent, information, and would rather. And you have here prefer, facts, quiet, and group. Try to match the word to its synonym by matching the number to the letter. And I'll be back very soon. I'm curious to know what you wrote for these synonyms. Collection is group. A collection of books is a group of books, many books. Silent is very, very quiet. The library is very, very silent. Information, facts. At the library you can find information about everything. Would rather, Diana would rather a book vacation instead of a beach vacation. She prefers to read books instead of just sitting by the beach and not doing anything. Now let's talk about my stamp collection. Do you know what stamps are? When you send a letter, you put a stamp on the letter. My stamp collection. Let's read these sentences. A, I blank have a very large stamp blank. When I last counted it, I had 1,200 stamps. I blank collect stamps than any other thing. C, I love putting all my stamps in an album, looking at them in blank and imagining all the different countries where they came from. So here are the words definitely, collection, would rather, and silent. Try to match the missing words to their sentence, and I'll be back very soon. Let's check your answers together. I definitely have a very large stamp collection. When I last counted, I had 1,200 stamps. I would rather collect stamps than, so this is your clue. Would rather goes with than. So I would rather collect stamps than do any other thing. C, I love putting all my stamps in an album, looking at them in silence and imagining all the different countries where they came from. Let's review these words today by finding the words we learned in the puzzle. Can you look at the puzzle and find several words? I have one clue for you. I will tell you that I will write here, where you find many books. Many books. This is the clue for the first word. Where do you find many, many books? Where can you take out many, many books? This is the clue for the word. The next two words you'll find on your own. So take a few minutes and I'll be back very soon. I hope you found a few words. Let's look at the words. Where can you find a large collection of books? Of course, at the library. So this was my first clue. Information is here. And stay. I like to stay a long time when I go to the library. I like to stay there the whole day. Now I'd like you to do a writing activity. I'm sure when you were a kid, you used to collect things. Some people collect stamps, some collect erasers, other people collect stickers, madbekot. Do you have a collection of something? Did you ever collect anything? Stamps, erasers, stickers, maybe collection of... I have a friend who collects small little sugar. From every restaurant that she goes, she collects the sugar. That's a funny collection. I'd like you to write 2 sentences about a collection you have or a collection that you want to have one day. For example, I have a collection of watches. What collection would you like to have? And I'd like you to use the words that we learned today. Library, I don't know if you have a collection of books, perhaps you can use this word. Silent, information, instead of would rather or prefer. Take out books. So far, collection is an important word for this activity. Stayed and definitely. You can say, I definitely have a large collection of whatever you have. For example, I have watches. So complete this activity and I'll be back very soon. If you haven't had a chance to complete this activity, you can always do it at the end of the lesson. I wanted you to write about a collection you have or a collection you want to have in the future. And I wanted you to use the new vocabulary words we learned today. Now we are at the end of the lesson, and you can read, understand, and use Band 2 vocabulary words and expressions, and you can engage in creative assignments that include Band 2 vocabulary words and expressions. So thank you very much for watching my lesson today about libraries around the world. My name is Rivka Rosenberg, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, my name is Rivka Rosenberg. People call me Rivki. Today I will teach you a lesson called police, and the vocabulary words is from Band 2. Stages to learning vocabulary. Exposure. We will read a story with pictures and I will expose the vocabulary words. Then we will practice with a few exercises and games. We will engage in a writing activity and at the end we will review. What do you see in the picture? This is a crime scene. What happened? The police is there. I wonder what happened. It says crime scene, do not cross. I'm very curious to know what happened here. From the words and expressions below, what do you think the text will be about? The text we will read. Let's look at the words. Crime, pesha, science, mada, clue. There are many clues that the police looks for when they study a crime scene, when they try to discover what happened. Technology. The police uses a lot of technology to figure out what happened in a crime scene. For example, they probably use their phones, of course, and they use all kinds of robots and machines. That's technology. Interview. The police interviews many people on the crime scene. If they saw, let's say, the burglar or they saw whoever did the crime, so the police interviews them. They ask questions and they try to find the answers. Certain, batuach. This is in Hebrew. I'm Dana. Dana's a policewoman. I'm a policewoman. There was a crime last night. What happened? A thief broke into a house and stole a lot of money. So what is Dana trying to see? She's trying to figure out how the thief went into the house. So Dana's a policewoman and she is studying the crime scene. What happened last night? When I solve crimes, I use technology and science clues. Sorry, so you see she uses her phone, the technology, and she studies all kinds of probably DNA she takes from the fingerprints or the blood if there is on the crime scene. That's scientific clues. I also interview the neighbors to find more clues about the thief. You see Dana, she's interviewing the person. This neighbor, maybe he saw the thief. I am certain, I'm positive, I will solve this crime. So, why do you think I put the words in green? For example, crime, technology, science, clues, interview, certain. These are the new vocabulary words for today from Band 2. Match the word to its picture. So here below you have technologies, interview, science, and crime. Try to match the picture to its word by matching the number to the letter. Try to do this and I'll be back very soon. Let's look at the pictures and the words. Technologies. These are technologies. The robot, the smart house, the telephone, the cell phone, the tablet. These are technologies. And the police uses a lot of technologies for studying the crime scenes and whatever data they can find, whatever information. Interview. You see Dana here, the policewoman? She's interviewing the people about the crime that happened last night. Science. The police uses, for example, DNA from the fingerprinting, blood. That's scientific clues to study the crime scene. And this is crime, of course. when there is a criminal, the police puts handcuffs. These are called handcuffs on the criminal or sends the criminal to prison. Now you have words here in yellow: technology, science, crime, and clues. And I'd like you to complete the missing words, but there can be more than one answer, so be careful. Let's look at sentence A. A thief broke into my neighbor's house. The police closed off the blank scene area, so no one enters. B. They use blank to find blank about the thief. For example, cell phones to take pictures. C. In a blank scene, blank is also used. For example, blood spots or DNA, for example. Try to complete the missing words with the words in yellow. And I'll be back to look at your answers. Notice that several words here can be used twice. Did you manage to do this activity? Let's try to do this together. A thief broke into my neighbor's house. The police closed off the crime scene. Do you remember, like the picture at the beginning of the lesson? They closed off the scene with the yellow tape, so no one enters. B. They use technology to find clues, כל מיני רמזים, about the thief. For example, cell phones to take pictures. They interview people. These are the clues. In a crime scene, science is also used. For example, blood spots and DNA, etc. I hope you answered like I did. Let's continue. Now I'd like you to do this writing activity. Look at the picture here. We have two policemen, one policeman and one policewoman, and they are standing next to a window. I think the thief went in through the window. Please write 2 sentences describing this picture, but I would like you to use the new vocabulary words and expressions below. So the words are crime, science, technology, certain. I'm sure they are certain they will discover who broke in through the window. Interview and clue. And of course, in plural, it's clues with an S. So please write 2 sentences describing the picture and use the vocabulary words from today. I'll see you soon. I'm very curious to know your 2 sentences about this picture. What I would write is the policeman and the policewoman are investigating or studying the crime scene, for example, and they are looking for clues. This is what I would write. So let's review what we did today. We started off by learning the stages for learning vocabulary: exposure, practice, production, and review. We looked at this picture. Now we know a little bit how the police works on a crime scene. This is the new vocabulary words for you today: crime, clue, interview, science, technology, and certain. I hope you'll use these words. Then we learned about Dana, the policewoman, trying to study the crime scene. And she uses technology and science clues and also interviews the neighbors. And she is certain, she is positive she will solve the crime. Then we completed a matching activity and completing the missing words. And we ended by a writing activity, reviewing the words we learned today. So now you can read, understand, and use Band 2 vocabulary words and expressions, and you can engage in creative assignments that include Band 2 vocabulary words and expressions. So thank you very much for watching me today and my lesson on police. My name is Rivka Rosenberg, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.